My dear friends, let's give some tzedakah together with the prayers that we just expressed. Please, I want to remind you again. Chapter 20, chapter 22, chapter 69, chapter 122, and chapter 150 every day at least once for the safety and well-being of all our brothers and sisters anywhere and everywhere in the world. And obviously for the final redemption, which will be good for every human being. Yesterday I mentioned, in honor of my father's yahrzeit, about his tremendous respect for his mother. Today I would like to share with you an insight as to what means education. And let me give you a little background. I had mentioned that he was a businessman. Let me be a little bit more specific. He had built a factory to cut diamonds. In a specific way, it's called sewing diamonds. Now let's keep it simple, cutting diamonds. But this would take a lot of time, a lot of hours of his. He sometimes would work 16 hours a day. But he was committed to his family, not just to provide money, but to be present. So he bought a house with a big backyard, right in the center of the community, and he built a factory in the backyard. So that we as children, and we were a relatively large family, we always knew we could go down to Papa, we could go down to the Zegerai, we could go down to the factory, sit down, discuss whatever happened in school, whatever was on our minds, and he would pay full attention to us while he was busy working. His expertise was to maximize a raw diamond into shaping it into the maximum nice, pure, good diamond, which took a lot of concentration. Would sit with a little loop, as we called, a magnifying glass, looking at every stone individually and designing it how and where it should be cut. But as I said, that he was very well versed in Torah. He concluded the Talmud probably 7-8 times. And he had a good memory. He remembered. He remembered Chumash with the Lada Rashi, he remembered the Talmud with Rashi, and so on and so forth. So I would come home from school, go into his office, and review whatever we learned that day. Would it be the Gemara, would it be the Chumash, the Talmud, the Chumash, the Bible, with the Rashi, which is the basic commentary, and eventually was even further than that. Whatever it was, the Halacha, and the Kitzur Shulchan Aruch, he was right on top of it. I remember one particular day, it seemed to me that he was very, very concentrated on the stones, and I thought that he's maybe not paying so much attention to the way I read the Gemara. So I was reading the Gemara, the Talmud that is, that we learned that day in school, and supposed to read also Rashi's commentary. So I read the Gemara and I skipped one or two of those Rashi's commentaries, thinking that he didn't realize. At one point, he looks at me, because I was sitting always on his right side. He looks at me, he put down the loop, the magnifying glass, with a stone, with the diamonds, and he looks at me and says, Dacht sich mir adost übergehebt Rashi. In Yiddish, which means, I think you skipped one Rashi. I was a little embarrassed. I was caught red-handed. And I said, yeah, indeed, yes, I did. He didn't reprimand it for it. But he looked at me and he said, Keinmal nicht gut überspringen, which means never good to take shortcuts. Not just in the Gemara, but in life in general. That was a powerful message. We don't take shortcuts with God. We don't take shortcuts with Torah and mitzvahs. We don't take shortcuts with Judaism. We don't take shortcuts with our responsibilities. We don't take shortcuts with our relationships with our children, spouse, etc. Work it through. So, friends, in memory of my dear late father, let's commit ourselves not to take shortcuts. And in Mirz Hashem, we will have the final shortcut straight from all the cemeteries in the world, straight to Tchias HaMesim, resurrection of all the dead, with Mashiach in the Beis HaMikdash now.